So apparently now a lot of people sent this to me over the last couple of hours. I woke up and my DMs were full, folks. They were full of people not only trying, to impress me, which is something that, happens often. I'm just saying. But they were full of people that were sending me a YouTube video. And that YouTube video was by Tim Black, who made a video basically going on about how Brianna Joy Gray is garbage, which I tend to agree with. And so I did. Now it's an hour-long video, so I'm not going to watch his entire video. But there's some clips here that I want to watch because Queen in Yellow on Twitter loves making these clip threads that are just fantastic. So a lot of people have been personally attacking Brianna Joy Gray over her involvement in the whole force the vote thing. And so again, I have not seen Tim Black's full video yet, but I want to hop on the bandwagon because Brianna Joy Gray is a giant disappointment. And so we have a Twitter thread here, a compilation, if you will. And this is like a little bit of a trip down memory lane. Do you remember when Brianna Joy Gray had a co-host? Where's Virgil? Does anyone know where Virgil is? Hold on, let me look up his Twitter account. Hold up, because I must be blocked or something. Like, where is Virgil? Virgil, Texas. That's his name, right? Virgil. Twitter is over capacity. Whoa. Now that's... What is going on here? Twitter's over capacity. Okay, there it is. Let's see. I can't find him anywhere. Does this guy have a Twitter account? Like, I don't know what his Twitter account is. Here it is. Okay, I found his Twitter account. All right, folks. So let's see. What's Virgil up to? So he's got the Bad Faith podcast. Does anyone know what's going on with the Bad Faith podcast? September 10th, it's launched. Oh, okay, so his last retweet was in June. Now, remind me, but June was several months ago. Happy birthday. All right, so looks like Virgil is somewhere. He's in the gone zone. By the way, I will never get over the cringe level of this photo shoot that they did. Like, the Bad Faith photo shoot was so cringe. Like, everything about it, the colors, like the looking in the distance. I mean, Lord have mercy. But anyway, I'm not here to make fun of Virgil, Texas for just disappearing. I don't know why he disappeared. He's gone. If someone wants to do the work and to look up why he disappeared for me and then report back that information after you figured out why he disappeared, I would appreciate that. But he's just gone. But anyway, so we have a trip down memory lane when, Brianna Joy Gray had a co-host. And here's a very good selection of clips of just how bad Brianna Joy Gray has become. Now, again, I want to remind everyone why I'm focusing on Brianna Joy Gray and why a couple people are focusing on her. Is because she was the press secretary for Bernie Sanders' campaign. Bernie Sanders' top surrogate was Nina Turner. Right? This is like a tragic, this is like a story. You could write a story about this. This is like if you're writing a movie, you could make a movie about. This is some pretty tragic stuff. This is like, friends betraying each other kind of thing. It's bizarre. And all for Patreon money. Anyway, let's watch.
When we talk about Nina Turner, implications of her time in Congress. She's not been there yet.
Implications of what it would mean if she were in Congress.
Well, I think it would be great.
What would be different? Because in this scenario, right, we're talking about getting enough progressives. One more isn't going to change anything. So how do you convince people to get mobilized behind a candidate like this when it's just one more?
1/4% of the House Representatives will be Nina Turner.
When we talk about...
So, okay, this is back in January. The Bad Faith podcast is basically saying Nina Turner's candidacy, no big deal. Whatever. Again, I don't know where Virgil is. I don't know, I'm trying to find Virgil's commentary on Nina Turner losing in Ohio's 11th district. But if anyone can find Virgil's commentary on Ohio 11's election, I would love that, but I can't find it. And so we have some more tweets here. Again, Tim Black made this video where he was going in. If someone wants to send me some clips of his video, I will be more than happy to show them in this segment here. Just DM them to me on Twitter. But again, this is some bizarre stuff.
The squad will go and campaign for whoever the hell Nancy Pelosi tells them to campaign for because Nancy Pelosi is powerful and the squad is weak. And that's...
So here's the thing. That's not true. Do y'all remember when Nancy Pelosi put out like a literal blacklist? Like, if you supported a primary challenger to a Democrat, you got on a blacklist. You wouldn't get any DCCC funds at all. Does anyone remember that? Well, I guess Brianna Joy Gray doesn't remember that. Does anyone remember, like, maybe, I don't know, the election of Jamal Bowman, Cori Bush, maybe? Does anyone remember that at all? Does anyone know that at all? Does anyone remember that in any capacity where they campaigned for them instead of the other people? And then, Pelosi was extremely upset with, and then they actually won, and then Pelosi had egg on. Does anyone remember? Because I guess Brianna does not.
Always going to be the case, because Nancy Pelosi has spent decades being a fundraising power horse, and the squad hasn't. But in this instance,
I believe the term is powerhouse, but I will relish any opportunity to call Nancy Pelosi a horse, so I will let that one slide.
This instance, because of a procedural quirk and the narrow margin in the House, they had legitimate power. And I don't care what they did with it. I don't care if it was forced to vote. I don't care if it was something else.
Okay.
But my primary concern is that they chose not to use it, despite the fact that there has been a very, I think, poor articulation of what they would lose in doing so.
Well, AOC has, in fact, actually not gone out and campaigned for people that Pelosi, and they've been on opposite sides of this in multiple situations over the course of the past cycle. I mean, do you think Nancy Pelosi was in favor of AOC, the squad promoting, getting rid of Eliot Engel?
I think they're doing a little dance around each other, but if push comes to shove, Nancy Pelosi can make anybody do what what she wants them to do, and she's picking her battles and pulling her punches as well.
I think AOC has, in terms of like leading primaries.
So I don't mean to distract from any of these clips here, but like, does anyone see like Virgil, Texas, like looking on this, like looking down, like it looks like he's typing to someone? I wonder who he's talking to. I'm sorry.
And helping fund primaries and raise money for challengers is, I mean, look, the DCCC blacklisted any organization that was supposedly
I'm well
helping
aware.
So
Brianna Joy Gray is well aware of the blacklist, but also doesn't remember it at all. Isn't that very interesting? She somehow, in the span of 80 seconds, is capable of saying two exactly opposing things with extreme, she really thinks that. Like, she thinks that's like looking at the sky. Oh, the sky is red. I know it looks a little blue to me. Oh, no, it looks blue. But you just said it was red. No, yeah, because it looks red. But now that you said it was blue, it's red, and then it's also blue, and then it's
I'm not convinced of that premise, and I think that's where she's chose to expend her power.
So we got more. So now I've not seen these clips before of her going on Crystal, Kyle. Well, obviously we know that Kyle got kicked off of his own show, but Crystal and friends. Let's watch.
Aren't there people, though, who still have that energy and are still right on the issues, and they think it's possible, but since they're not really seeing the tangible wins, and they're correct to be angry about not seeing those tangible wins, that they turn into anti-electoralists, where they're basically like, this isn't working the way we're doing it now, so now, like, anybody who runs as a Democrat, I'm even skeptical of. Like, Nina Turner running as a Democrat. How dare you run as a Democrat? The Democrats have stabbed us in the back. We need to try this third-party approach. And the third party's polling at, like, negative 8%, and they think somehow that's going to get, be president in 4 years or 8 years or even get any congressperson or senator elected. Don't you think that also presents an issue where you mix this realism on the issues where they're right on the policies with this anti-realism on the way of actually getting this stuff.
Can we talk about these laptop stickers, man? Like, they are cringy as hell.
Implemented.
And it's the wrong show. Like, they got the Breaking Points laptop sticker while they're on Crystal and Friends. That's the wrong show.
So, I make no secret of the fact that I, really, adore Senator Turner. And I very much hope that she wins. I think it's also smart to be skeptical of how much of an impact her election will have, and also to continue to push and hold her feet to the fire to make sure that she has the maximum impact by not doing what many other members of the squad have done recently, which is to basically behave like members of corporate Democrats when it comes to some significant votes and opportunities for leverage. So I don't know that it's...
Now, I just want to be honest. Like, this whole thing This whole thing, this whole skeptical thing is, again, we need to remind ourselves it's based on force the vote. Like it's not like, oh, like this, like the whole, it literally is QAnon for the left. Like, I'm not joking with you at all. Right? All of this boils down to the squad didn't force the vote, something that was literally like just not going to happen. Right? Now, again, Brianna Joy Gray did a whole 3-hour-long video arguing that Kevin McCarthy could not have become Speaker of the House. If that were not possible, then what was the leverage? The whole leverage of force the vote was that we can install Kevin McCarthy as Speaker if we want to, and if you want to be Speaker, Nancy, you've got to do what we say, and then what we say was force the vote on Medicare for All. Then they did a 3-hour video. Oh, it's not possible. Kevin McCarthy won't be Speaker. Well, then where's the leverage? So, like, the whole conspiracy theory is baseless. And they even denied the leverage that they had, and then later on went out there and said, oh, they had leverage, infinite leverage. I remember in January, I did a debate with some dude, absolute cringe lord, called Nico House, right? And he told me that AOC had unlimited power. That's what he told me. You can go back and watch the tape. That AOC and the squad could have gotten anything they wanted to if they withheld their vote for Nancy Pelosi. Now, my question is, if that is true, if all you need are like 5 members of Congress to withhold the vote for Speaker, and you can get whatever you want passed, because Nico has told me that Medicare for All would have been passed. They would have had to. They had no choice. Right? If that were possible, I've got news for you. We would be in a completely different country. If 5 members of Congress had the power to pass anything they wanted by withholding votes for Speaker, don't you think we would live in a different world? Don't you think like the Republicans would have done something along those lines at some point in order to install like a dictator? Doesn't that seem like a little unserious? But that's okay. But that's what Brianna Joy Gray was talking about. She was saying we got to hold their feet to the fire, and what that means is force the vote, folks. Force the fucking vote. I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me. I just don't understand. Like, this whole force the vote thing, it's just, I never understood it. And so a lot of people are rightfully going after Brianna Joy Gray for being a loser. And I just wanted to pile on that one. I mean, again, I'm not the one, I don't like bullying. I don't want to participate in an internet, like a cyberbully campaign. I'm not cyberbullying at all. I just think when you have legendarily bad takes that, you know, you got to own up to it at some point. You got to apologize. I mean, like, you got to say, like, I fucked up. I mean, like, that's what, like, you just have to say it. I mean, like, at some point, you just have to fucking say that, hey, you fucked up. It happens. We all fuck up. My question, though, is where the hell is Virgil, Texas? Like, I can't, like, I want to get his hot take on Ohio 11, but I just can't find it. I mean, I'm looking up Virgil, Texas, Ohio 11 commentary. Can't find it anywhere. I don't know what's going on with that. But anyway, folks, I just wanted to comment on that. Just weigh in a little bit.